was a farmer and had 100 colonies, and my father took care of those colonies, and when he grew up, he became a state bee inspector, you know, inspecting bees for disease and so on, and he ended up with 3,000 colonies of bees, and so, you know, when I was in my 20s, I had 300 colonies of bees, so I know bees pretty well. There it goes again. Lately, you know, I went through economic hard times. I lost my job, and all kinds of stuff happened to me. So I started thinking, gosh, I should get tuned back into my roots and be a beekeeper. And back when I was a kid, you could, you know, I did this many times. You find a swarm hanging on a branch and just dunk it into a box. You could use a cardboard box in California, and they would just survive forever without any problem. You know, occasionally they would get something called American foul brood, but otherwise they did fine, and they didn't have all these problems they have today. Nowadays, you're lucky if that swarm you hive will last through the year, you know, through the winter. It'll probably die. And there's a lot of different reasons. A lot of these very pathogens that are affecting bees are actually, in some cases, related to a class of pesticide called the neonicotinoids, which is what was sprayed on these trees. And what happened to these trees here is pretty awful. There it goes again. You know, it's very visible. People can see what happened to the bees. It's just right there. You see them dropping from the trees. The Oregon Agricultural Board has, Oregon Department of Agriculture has determined that it was caused by the pesticides beyond any doubt. But beyond all that, there's all this problem with the sublethal effects of these pesticides that are harder to study because they're, you know, imagine if you got up in the morning and didn't feel good, you didn't know what it was, you had malaise, you didn't want to go anywhere, you were confused and dizzy, you would leave the house, couldn't find your way back home again because of the effect of pesticides on you, you didn't want to go to work, and if when you did go to work, you just didn't work that hard. That's what's going on with bees today. And so there's been a whole big controversy for years about whether it's these pesticides or not. All kinds of studies have shown that it is the pesticides, that they are a factor among all the various things affecting bees today, and that they're even suppressing the immune system of bees, which lets bees get all these diseases that they never got before. And so it's a big confused mess, but the pathogens, numerous studies show that the pathogens are involved. And so we have to get rid of them. And something that occurred to me in an argument I had with somebody once is that it seems as though people think these pathogens have civil rights. I mean, the pesticides have civil rights, as if they have a right to exist. You prove they are bad, and then we'll get rid of them. They're innocent until proven guilty. But you know, pesticides don't have human rights. They're not human. They're not human. So they should be guilty until proven innocent. And they should not be allowed on the market until they can be proven not to affect the environment the way they do. Anyway, I'll take it.